Okay, I'm out on a trail. I uploaded this background just because I thought I was going to be able to live stream out here, but actually I don't have a very good signal. So I don't know if you guys are going to be able to get this stream or not. We will see. If you can't, later it should just upload as a regular video. But I wanted to just talk a little bit about manifesting and a couple different ways that manifesting happens in my life. You know, I don't actually like this green screen because it looks like I'm not even there. So let's see. Oh yeah, here we go. I was gonna say, I don't know how to turn it off. Okay, so I'm on this same trail. There's the trail down there. But instead of a picture, it'll just be me talking. Oh, maybe I can go this direction. Well, I don't know if I like that angle. I don't normally do regular live streams. Okay, I wanted to talk just a little bit about how manifesting happens for me specifically. Everyone is different. I focus this channel on manifesting money and prosperity. One of the reasons that I do that is I just think that it completely sucks that people stay in jobs that they hate and that they work so many hours and they aren't able to go do the actual things that they love to do. And money should not be that hard. We think it's hard because we have always been told that it's hard. We think it's hard because everyone says you got to work hard to be successful. And so we have this mentality that we have to strive and work, and we only get money by hard work. And we have this belief system of how hard it is, and we associate money from something hard. We doubt the people that say that money can just come out of thin air. And I'm one of those people that say money can come out of thin air because I have money come out of thin air all the time. So some of the unique ways that I get money is I always get checks in the mail from random places. And you know that in today's digital world, that is like so rare to just be getting physical paper checks in the mailbox. But I do. And as Neville Goddard would say in his books, he writes about what's called law of assumption. And basically, whatever you assume to be true is what is true for you. And whatever you assume to be true is what happens to you. But he talks about how when things happen like this, he never used the word manifesting or manifest. Maybe he did, but not as much as what we talk about it today. But he would say when it comes true, when your wish fulfilled comes true, other people will explain it away, and they will explain it away that it would have happened anyway. And it was just a coincidence that happened. And it seems like you could explain it that way, but there have been so many times in my life where the thing that happened to me, the timing of it, like it has never happened again to me. And I know I've used these examples before, but maybe you're new here and you've never seen me. But like the time that my daughter was sick and I brought her food to her room and I said out loud, "Boy, it must be nice to be served on a silver platter." Like that was the phrase, you know, like if you had a butler that was bringing you your food on a silver platter. And within like a half hour, there's a knock at my front door and there's a fully dressed catering server at my door, ready to work, ready to serve food on a silver platter. Why would that happen? That's never happened again. It's never happened since then. It happened right after I said that. Now, the logical explanation that you can just explain it away, well, he was at the wrong address. He was showing up for a catering job, but he came to my house and knocked on my door right after I said that. That's crazy. Another time I was driving my car and I was just thinking in my mind about, I went through this period where I always said every single day, every time I leave the house, I find money. And I was driving my kid to hockey and I said, why do I always find coins? Why can't I find dollar bills? Like a $20 bill. And I get to the hockey facility, I park the car. He's gonna go to practice for an hour, so I have like an hour to waste, and so I go for a walk. And as I'm leaving my car and walking over to the trail that I'm gonna walk on, I'm looking at my phone because I'm trying to start like my music and my Fitbit to track how far I walk. And so I'm looking down, and right there next to my shoe is a $20 bill in the grass. Now, what kind of timing is that? I had just said, why can't I find dollar bills, like a $20 bill? And then I walk upon it in the grass. Another time I was at a park and I told myself, this was back when I would be like, every time I leave the house, I find money. And I told myself, I am not leaving this park until I find money. And within a half an hour, I walk right upon this group of coins that was just sitting in the grass. And you would say, well, I would have found that anyway. Would I? I said, the timing was that I said it like right then. And then I found it. And another time I was walking to the mailbox and I was thinking in my head about how money can just come to you unexpectedly in a variety of ways. And one of the ways it can come to you is those class action lawsuits that you get where you don't even know you're a part of that settlement. And you just go to the mailbox and there'll be a check. As I'm thinking that as I'm walking to the mailbox, I get to the mailbox and there's a postcard in there saying that I'm a part of a class action lawsuit and I'm going to be getting a check in the mail. The actual check wasn't in the mail, but then it came later. But it was right when I was thinking that. So am I thinking that because that's in the mailbox and I can sense that that's in the mailbox? Or am I making that happen? There's been other times where I have thought, am I the one that's sending myself money? Is it my future self? Is it me knowing that I need this money in the future and sending myself money? Because there's been a couple of specific instances where I have done something that has enabled me to have like a large amount of money in the future that I needed at a specific amount of time. Now, I didn't know I was going to need that money in the future, but I did something. For example, here's a specific example. We had sold a rental house and I was going to have a lot of capital gains on that sale. And so I sent a bunch of money to the IRS. I had diligently done all the calculations of how much tax I was going to owe on the sale of this property, you know, the different rates, the capital gains rates versus regular income rates. And I had done all the calculations and I was pretty confident in how much money I was going to owe on this house. Sent the money to the IRS like in advance because you're supposed to make like quarterly payments if you're going to owe a lot of money. You're not supposed to wait till the end of the year when you owe it. Sent the money in. The following spring, April 15th comes around and we're doing our actual taxes and a bunch of tax laws had changed. And basically all the money that I had sent in, and it was like $20,000, all the money that I had sent in got refunded to us. It just so happened that within that same week, we had an opportunity that we had to make a decision on, but we were going to need $20,000. And I was doing our taxes that week and knew we would be getting back that $20,000 in a refund because the taxes were finalized, they were sent in, and I knew that that's how much the refund was going to be. The refund was from the amount I had sent in a year earlier. If I would have not sent in that money, we would have just spent it on something else. We would have went on vacation. We would have, you know, piddled it away throughout the year and we wouldn't have had the $20,000. But because I had done all those calculations, sent it in, then when I needed it the following year, it was actually there. I actually had the money available that we needed, and we were able to say yes to an opportunity that otherwise we would have said no to because we didn't have the money for it. What are some other situations? Okay, so what I came on here to actually talk about, I was going to tell you the rainstorm story. So I'm caught in a torrential downpour. It's raining, storming. And I was actually listening to some money manifestation affirmations at the time, like on a video playlist. And I start imagining that the heavy rainstorm is actually quarters falling from the sky. And I just think that these huge raindrops that are like falling, I was actually driving at the time. These huge raindrops that are falling on my car are actually quarters. And I imagine that the quarters were washing down the street. So the rush of water going down the street is actually quarters rushing down the street. The next morning, and the warehouse is situated like our driveway kind of scoops down, and then so the water rushes down the driveway when it rains a lot. The next morning after the storm, I go outside and there are 3 quarters that had washed down the driveway and were pretty much sitting at my front door. And it's exactly what I was imagining the night before, that there was quarters raining down and coming to our front door. Now, like I said before, you could say, well, that would have happened anyway. But it happened when I specifically was setting the intention that that would happen. It happened when I was imagining that the raindrops were quarters. That's when it happened. So what I started this video to say is those are some just crazy money showing up out of thin air situations for me. The checks in the mail, sometimes those checks can be really big, and it can be something that I had no idea happening, like that rental house I talked about. So we sold it, and 2 or 3 years after, well, 2 years, because it hasn't been 3 years yet. So, because this was recent, 2 years after we sold it, I get a check in the mail for like $1,500 or $1,600. I can't remember exactly how much it was, but it was more than $1,500. And it was from collections on a tenant that I didn't even know this happened. And it was like 3 years ago. And it was something that they had sent collections, the property management company. I didn't even know that that had happened. And I think it must have been like the person wasn't paying rent. They got evicted. They put a new tenant in there. And so I didn't notice as an owner because we were still getting rent collected. But here comes this check out of the blue for $1,500 in my mailbox that I didn't even know existed. And I know there's other people's stories, you know, where they get a check in the mail from an old 401k or a retirement plan from someplace that they worked 20, 30 years ago that they didn't even know they had, or they totally forgot that they had. And then the company gets sold, the stock doubles, something, they have stock options, the stock doubles, and they all of a sudden have this huge lump sum that just shows up in their life. But one of the other ways that money manifests for me is actually through ideas. And this actually happened to me last night, which is why I wanted to make this video today. And this happens a lot of times really late at night when I'm relaxed, I'm really tired, and so I've stopped thinking so much, and I'll get really good ideas. And I'll get really good ideas about something that I can do that actually makes me quite a bit of money. And so last night I was trying to solve a problem. We needed a lump sum of money for something. And I'm like, oh, I don't know where I'm going to get that money from. And all of a sudden it was like this idea just dropped into my mind. And I was like, yeah, that'll work. And it's something that I can implement like in the next week and have money right away. Now, number one, you have to be open to getting ideas like that. It's like if someone walks up to you and you're telling them your problem and they give you a fantastic solution, but if you're not open to it, you might just say, well, that will never work, or that will never work for me. That's something manifesting can be, you get this idea and then you have to actually implement it. So next week is, there's some timing issues with this that I have to actually do something next week specifically for this to produce money for me. But I'm pretty excited about it because it was like, oh, why haven't I ever thought of that before? And sometimes that's how manifesting works, is all of a sudden you will get this idea, or you will run into a person who has the idea or has the resources for you. Like all of a sudden you will run into a person who needs to hire somebody that's exactly your skills, or you are, or they want to give you money for a project that is super, super easy for you, that's hard for them. And so they may not be able to do it. And it's like all of a sudden you run into that person. There is money and opportunities all over the place, but you have to be open to that. You have to know and believe that there's money and there's opportunities all over the place. If you're the person that's just like, oh, I can never make money, or, oh, I can, money's never going to come to me, that's your reality. That's what is true for you. Whatever you believe, that is what's true for you. So the same person in the same neighborhood with the same situation and the same background, one person can have money flowing to them easily, and another person can be just stuck in poverty forever because of what they believe and what they think. And everything happens based on the energy that you are giving off and giving out. That's how everything is attracted to you. Okay, my throat is getting kind of scratchy now. But basically, I was pretty excited about all the ideas I got last night, because I actually had like 3 specific ideas that I'm going to implement in the next week. And so that's actually what I came on here to talk about, is sometimes manifesting is not the money just showing up as you're walking along the trail. I had that happen a few weeks ago. I was on a nature trail and I said, somebody's going to give me money today while I'm out here. And I am out in the middle of like the woods, right? And I'm walking along and I look up and there is this dollar bill that's stuck in the trail sign. And the only way that could have gotten there is somebody specifically put it there for someone to find. And I had just said, someone's going to give me money today. So it wasn't that I found it on the ground. It wasn't that someone lost it. Someone intentionally put that money there for someone to find. And that someone was me. Like, the timing of things that happen to me like that are crazy, that you cannot explain it away, that it's just a coincidence, because it only happens when I specifically say that. And I also think it's very important to either write it down or not necessarily tell somebody, because sometimes when you tell somebody, all they do is tell you how that's not true, that doesn't work, and you start doubting yourself. I would actually, if you're new to manifesting money, I would more keep things to yourself and talk to other like-minded people like me, comment on my videos, tell me your success stories, but maybe don't tell your friend at work who is like, complains about everything and doesn't believe anything and thinks everything sucks, because they're gonna bring your energy down. Like, tell people who are encouraging to you and believe in how you can manifest things. But if it's somebody who doubts you, you know, when you have like a great idea and you tell somebody and they just like squash your dreams, like that energy, their energy actually affects you. So keep it to yourself or post it here on my channel, because that's what we're all about. We're all about manifesting money, bringing things out of the blue, getting things into your life that weren't there before, because I believe everything is created from your mind. And we're not taught that for some reason. Like, it's like quantum physics is just now becoming more mainstream, but we're still not taught it. We're like, our parents didn't teach us that. Like, we're not taught this in school, that every single thing is what you think and what you believe is the energy that you are giving off. And that energy is affecting every single thing around you. And everything is responding to that. Like, so everything that is happening is a response and a reflection to what is actually happening inside your life, inside your mind. If you want to change something in your life, you need to change you first. And so that's why I do so many money affirmations and money visualization videos, because you have to change you first. And what you see and what you think and what you believe is then what affects your entire life and what's out there for you. Okay, that's all for now. I'm gonna finish my walk on this lovely trail. I'm out in the middle of nowhere. I have no idea if this stream is streaming or not, because I only have 2 bars. So we will see how this goes. Also, if you're commenting right now, like, I actually don't know how to comment back when I'm only on my phone. So sometimes when I'm streaming, I have my phone going and my computer going, and I can comment back in the chat on my computer. I don't know how to do that when it's just me talking into the phone and the chat's going. So yay, chat, leave a chat for me, but I may not reply to you. Okay, so should we keep this stream going, or should we're gonna turn it off, because I don't have very good service and I don't even know if you're getting this. Okay, I'm gonna stream some spinning jars of, actually I think I'm gonna do spinning like stacks of $50. So subscribe and like, so you know when I'm going live again. I'm trying to go live like more often every single day to reach new viewers and just to attract more people who are interested in manifesting money, because who doesn't want more money? Like, everybody wants more money. And I totally think it sucks that people are away from their families and they never do what they want because they're working all the time. Like, I think that just is awful. So I want everyone to have as much money as they want, to do the things they want and not be stuck at a job all day. Okay, that's the goal. All right, see y'all later.